fact, we will never enjoy true success until we learn to see the big picture. Hi, I'm Steve Diggs. This is The Big Picture. Welcome aboard. Today, homepage, we're going to be talking about debt, but we're going to be talking about it in a more productive way than maybe we have in the past. You know, the people in the society that study these things tell us that the number one reason for divorce in America today is money troubles. A lot of relationships, a lot of friendships, and a lot of peace of mind is destroyed because of our debts. So today, we're going to zero in on a specific type of debt, the type of debt that has been the bane of existence for literally millions of Americans. What is this? This is credit card debt. You know, these little monsters in our pockets that have a way of ruining our lives. Now, we get these things thinking that they're going to be plastic prosperity, that they're going to really help us. But in truth, in more cases than not, they're the plastic kaboom explosives in our lives that ruin everything. So how do we deal with credit cards? How do we overcome the stress? How do we overcome the worry? And how do we go forward? Well, I will tell you that the state of affairs in this country right now is not really very good. Today in America, the average family that owes credit card debt owes more than $15,000. And that compares to less than $3,000 back in the 1990s. Today in America, nationwide, we owe most of $1 trillion in outstanding credit card debt. And millions of Americans, as a matter of fact, many Americans everywhere are spending over 20% of their income every single month trying to pay off short-term, high-interest rate credit card debt. And again, one of the things that I ran across recently that was stunning, in one study, in at least one or two of the more recent years, we have actually had more bankruptcies in America than we've had college graduates. Think about that. More bankruptcy decrees than college degrees. That is a sad state of affairs. So how do we deal with this? How do we go forward? And how do we change some things forever for the better? Well, I'm going to suggest that there are 4 things that we have to understand about credit cards that make them so dangerous. Number one, credit cards are just so simply easy to get. Each year, there are more than 6 billion credit card offerings sent out in this country. And I think I personally get about half of those things. You may get the other half. You see them in the newspaper, you get them in the mails, they're online, they're everywhere you turn. Credit cards are just too easy to get. Second reason why credit cards are dangerous, these things are too easy to use and to abuse. You know, I can honestly remember back in the day when you get a credit card and you put that little thing away. You might actually pull it out to go and buy some gas, but who would ever thunk that today we could buy the car with it? Or better yet, why don't we just simply pay college tuition on it? Or even smarter, why don't we pay for this week's groceries on our credit card and then finance those things over 30 years? That is what is killing Americans today. Third reason why credit cards are dangerous is because we simply do not understand how the payments, the penalties, and all of that junk gets computed. Listen, let me just tell you something. Next time you're thinking about getting a credit card, read the contract. I'm not talking about that little application form. Go online, pull the full thing off. In many cases, these contracts are more than 20 pages long. They're tough, they're mean, they're exacting. You need to read one of these. It's pretty eye-opening. And the fourth reason why credit cards are so dangerous is because credit card interest rates are just so phenomenally high. They're completely out of line with most other types of debt. So, how do we deal with it if we have some credit card troubles? I'm going to give you 4 quick ideas here that I think you might find helpful. Top of the list, number 1, is simply this. Get as few credit card accounts as possible. Many families are just perfectly good with that one credit card. And yes, I know the argument that says, well, we need more credit cards so we can improve our credit score. That may have some validity, but in truth, I want some peace of mind. And what I have learned over these years is that the more credit cards we have, the more spending we do, the more confusion there is, and the bigger the avalanche of debt is at the end of the month. The fewer cards, the better, in my opinion. Second great hint for dealing with our credit cards is to pay off every single penny. Listen, this is the most important one of all. Listen carefully. Pay off every single penny every single month. Here's the deal. If you see a month or two rolling by and you're carrying a balance on that credit card, it is high time to have a little 12-step meeting with yourself. This is when I get in front of the mirror and I say, hi, Steve, I'm a spendaholic. and then I deal with the problem. And remember, if you're an addict in any way at all, the trick to the whole thing is to go cold turkey. Stop doing the bad stuff. And this means we have to get rid of the credit card completely until we get the thing totally paid off. People who carry a balance are the people who experience the very, very most pain. Second thing I would suggest, or third thing I should say that I would suggest, is that we need to pre-plan how we're going to use these credit cards, what we're going to buy with them. This is when we sit down with our spouse, or if we're not married, we sit down by ourselves and we have a talk and we agree on what we can use the credit cards for. Can we buy gas? Okay, we can do that. Can we do this? Nope, yes, nope, yes, 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 nope, 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 nope. And we come down to a list of things that we can do with our credit card. Then write it down so it's clear and it's codified. And then listen to me very carefully. Honor your agreement. For your personal integrity, honor it with yourself. And if you're married, show your spouse the honor that they deserve by honoring the agreement. Don't ever spend money for something that's not on the list unless you, if you're by yourself, go home and think about it first, or get with your spouse and discuss it first. Fourth thing that we need to do if we're going to control these credit cards is to understand that credit cards should not be a source of pride and showiness. Listen, here's the secret. I can honestly remember back in the 1970s when I got my very first credit card. I was so proud of this thing. This was a gold card, and I was impressed, and I wanted everybody else to be. Now, never mind the fact that every Whopper flopper down at the Burger King already had 2 of these. I thought I was special. And I can honestly remember taking people to lunch and buying lunch for everybody at the table so they could all see that I had a gold card. Idiot, you don't get cards to show off with. You get them for 2 reasons. Number 1, to pay bills. Number 2, to keep records. And that is that. So what do we do if we have some credit card problems? We get serious and we realize that the long term is much more important than short-term gratification. We play to the long term, and we remember this. When our outgo exceeds our income, then our upkeep is going to be our downfall. I'm Steve Diggs. This has been The Big Picture. See you next time.